Hello, all guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to the newest episode of the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast, brought to you on YouTube, on Spotify, on Google, and Apple Podcasts. I'm Austin. I'm a knockout. Watched a lot of wrestling.
Hi, I'm David. I'm a noob. Haven't watched nearly as much wrestling, and I feel as though I need to repent my sins coming into this arc. You know, when we come to the Attitude Era, or sorry, not the Ruthless Aggression Era, it feels like a time of rapture. It feels as though the Judgment Day is upon us. With just the. Does it not feel, Austin, as though the Attitude Era is some like biblical apocalyptic like Left Behind tier hellscape that just makes no sense and is like we're so like think about it, all of the really influential wrestlers from the 90s just disappeared in a puff of smoke, and now we got left with all these other fucking goobers that we need to figure out, I don't know, something to do with.
That actually does kind of track in that way.
Yeah.
Like a big part of the Ruthless Aggression Era is that like they lost Rock and Austin at the same time.
Yeah.
And they were like, what the fuck?
And a lot of other dudes are becoming part-timers or like,
yeah, and they elevated Brock Lesnar and he said, I quit after 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's like,
they're like, oh
fuck?
shit, okay, we found our new guy. Oh no.
Never mind. No, we don't. No, we didn't.
Nope. Yeah. So I feel as though since we are here in the end times that are the Ruthless Aggression Era, I must go see a priest or something to cleanse myself before, I don't know, God condemns me to another Katie Vick arc for my
this
for my
arc does have God in it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, look, I'm trying to go. I try to be thematic. I pay attention sometimes.
Yeah, because it's time for us to go to 2006, the month after WrestleMania, where Vince McMahon decides to fight God.
Yes. I love how we're putting no teasing on this. We're just off the bat saying this is what the fuck is happening.
Yeah, I mean, how else am I going to explain what's happening here? I feel like it doesn't matter, as I already know that this episode they announce, the match that we're building to. So it doesn't
really.
They just immediately go for it night after WrestleMania.
I'm sorry. There's no build to this.
No, they just okay. They just go and he just goes there immediately.
Oh yeah. Pardon me for being under the delusion that there might be some semblance of interesting fucking booking in the Ruthless Aggression Era.
Okay, now to be fair, all right, this is a lot like I need to come up with a word for it. This is a lot because I keep referencing back to this phenomenon more than once. This is also like the custody of Dominic thing, where like this is a part of a longer storyline that is both before this and after.
Okay.
But for 1 month, it was really weird. For 1 month, it got really weird.
Well, they got a lot, all the, they turn a lot of extra profit for WrestleMania. I'm sure that bought the writers' room a nice big platter of extra strength drugs that they could take before their brainstorming sessions. So, they just had a month where they're like, let's just have fun with it, man.
Yeah, so this is not so this has history, but it's also not really the culmination of the plot. I'll just go ahead and say it because it doesn't really matter. But like after this part of the arc, we start building to the reunion of D-Generation X, of Shawn and Triple H's DX. And they will keep feuding with Vince for many months after this.
Because they need something. They're like, fuck, we're running on
They're gonna
fumes.
make so many jokes. They're gonna make a lot of jokes about Vince loving cock. And they'll just say it, and but it'll be a chicken. But they're like, see, Vince loves cock. They just say that. And like,
the
innuendo isn't subtle or good, but that's
D-Generation X, good as it's always been, baby. Yep. Nothing's changed. Nothing's gotten worse. Don't think about it.
but that's a different arc.
Okay.
Let's discuss WrestleMania 22. Big time. That was the tagline. Big time. And big time. And it was in Detroit, actually.
Oh my!
It was at Ford Field.
That is a
Oh no, sorry,
big...
that's next Mania. That's 23. My bad.
Wow.
22 was in. Hey, listen. All right, sorry. 22 was in Chicago at the Rosemont at the Allstate Arena. Okay.
Cool. Was it the Allstate Arena even in 2006? Fuck.
It was. Anyway, so do you want to do the WrestleMania in order, or do you want to start off with what we're here for?
Let's start with what we're here for. I want to get like the main thrust going, and then we can kind of fill in the spaces around it.
Sure. Okay. So at WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels wrestled Vince.
Question 1. ¿Por qué?
So Vince, as I said before we started streaming, is kind of in his bag right now as being like his most like having significant wrestling matches and kind of being treated as a threat, as an in-ring wrestler.
What the okay.
Like at WrestleMania 21. That's right, that's the right one. He had a really good match with Hulk Hogan, for example.
He did?
He did, actually. It was actually a really good match.
That sounds like an impossible, like...
Better than it ever should have been.
What the fuck? I guess when Hogan is paired up with dudes who should also deliver shitty matches, the like shit...
He just knows how to bring it out of them.
Yeah, I guess. Fucking hell. Yeah, between this and the Warrior match. Okay, well that I don't like that, but continue.
Wait, that wasn't at 21. Was it at 20? When did that happen? Or maybe, okay, got a 19 maybe. Yeah, okay, 19 was when Hogan and Vince had a good match. Okay. Had that missed. I thought there was less years between that, but anyway. Point being. So Vince, basically the story is that Shawn is getting on Vince's nerves, and I don't really understand. Listen, I watched a video that did like a compilation of the story bits for a lot of this feud leading into Mania, but it didn't cover anything pre-Royal Rumble. So like, I'm just having to rely on what Wikipedia is telling me was happening here. Basically, Shawn was getting in Vince's way, and Vince was like, Shawn, I can screw you just like I screwed Brett. Yep.
Vince really loves talking about how much he likes to screw his wrestlers.
Anyway, and to prove a point about that, Vince cost Shawn Michaels at the Royal Rumble, basically. And
but wait, what was Shawn doing to like get in Vince's way?
I don't know.
What
like
minor inconvenience?
You see, I don't know, because the Wikipedia article about the storylines going into the match is just mentions like they had a confrontation verbally, and Vince is like, I'll screw you like I did Brett. And that's all we see. That's all we hear about that, really.
Okay.
There is some bit apparently about how he talked to Shawn. He wants to turn back the clock to the 90s with sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And Shawn's like, I'm a born again Christian. I don't want to do that.
That's actually not my cheese anymore. And Vince goes,
What? How dare you?
Yeah. Anyone who works in my company must be on board with sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's in your contract.
Yeah, so we get a bit. So we get a bit where Vince actually kind of like masks off himself about Shawn. And it's kind of weird, actually, because he's like, Shawn, you're so at peace with yourself. And I hate that, because I'm not. I can't be. Like, he's like, think I am in charge of a multi-million-dollar company. I have shareholders to answer to. I have so much pressure on me. But so he basically like presents himself as like, I am a fucked up person, and I hate you for being mentally at ease with yourself, and so I must destroy you. And he talks about how, as a person, he can't just be at peace with himself. He always needs more. He always wants more.
Oh, I didn't realize we were walking into a brilliant treatise on like the empty void of capitalist greed. Holy shit.
We are like halfway, a little bit. And then so Vince is like, so the implication is Vince has to destroy Shawn because he can't deal with the fact that Shawn mentally is everything Vince can't be.
Motherfuckers will literally buy an entire wrestling federation from their fathers and proceed to like psychologically abuse their employees instead of going to therapy. No, it checks out.
Yeah,
the patriarchy, we live in a society.
So first he tries to force Shawn Michaels to retire. He's like, Shawn, next week on Raw is your retirement party. And guess what, buddy? That's not you're going to be there. And that's not a request. That's a requirement.
What the fuck? Vince is trying to retire vicariously through Shawn here. What the fuck?
Yeah, but so obviously Shawn just like rips up the papers and tells him to go fuck himself.
True. Good. Based.
And so then Vince spends the next several months trying to fuck with Shawn. He forces Shawn to kiss his ass.
Oh, I didn't realize Shawn ever joined the KMA club.
We are at the return of Kiss My Ass Club. It was retired originally because after Vince was forced to kiss Rikishi's ass. But we're back. There is a non-zero chance that we have to see Vince's bare ass in this storyline.
Vince has done a thorough internal investigation to see if there are any asses bigger and stinkier than his in the company.
And he's like,
to make sure it's safe. We said we're in the clear. Okay.
So he knocks out Shawn and forces him to kiss his ass. He puts Shawn in a 4-on-1 match against the Spirit Squad, and I will talk about them in a minute. I want to get through this before we talk about them more. And then Marty Jannetty comes back and to help Shawn. And so Vince is like, he offers Marty a job, but only if he kisses if Marty kisses Vince's ass.
Oh my god!
But then when Marty says no, he brings out Chris Masters to force Marty into the master lock. Again, I'll talk about the Vince Stooges in a bit.
Okay.
Then there's this insane plot where Vince has Stephanie, who is pregnant right now, by the way. She's largely been off TV.
Like shoot pregnant?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Triple H has gotten Stephanie pregnant. There are some jokes. There are some jokes during their DX reunion because in storyline they're not together. So Triple H and Shawn make jokes when the DX reunion of like, wow, Stephanie gave birth. I bet the father has a real genetic jackhammer.
Oh my fucking
real
get
big
the fuck
cock.
out of here. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Anyway, but Stephanie's pregnant, and so she sneakily drugs Shawn to fuck him up in a match against her brother later in the night. And then this leads to Vince trying to force Shawn to take a public urine test so he has an excuse to fire Shawn. Shawn just throws the piss in Vince and Shane's face. That's the payoff to the bit.
And as we know, you can't famously you're not allowed to fire someone for throwing piss in your face.
No. They have a fucking on the Saturday night's main event because they've brought that back. Shane and Shawn fight 1v1 in a street fight. And then the match ends when Shane puts Shawn in the sharpshooter, and you know where this goes next. Oh. Vince tells them to ring the damn bell. He screws Shawn.
Oh my fucking god! I hate that so much.
But then they have a no holds barred match between Vince and Shawn at WrestleMania, and it's also way better than it should be.
I feel like if you put like Vince in a stipulation match like that, he is more liable to perform well. Mostly because Vince McMahon is like kind of insane. And I feel like he is like willing to, again, like the inner petulant child that is to this day mad that his dad wouldn't let him become a fucking wrestler. He will take like these insane bumps just so he can like be like, fuck you, dad, I'm in a wrestling ring right now.
Yeah. I'm a
so
real
that kind of
wrestler.
that actually tracks with that actually works. Delightful.
So Shawn beats Vince, and there's also a bit in the match where they try to do the kiss my ass club thing again. But Shawn fights back, and instead, while Vince is not looking because he's too busy like playing to the camera with his bare ass hanging out, waiting for the moment, Shawn forces Shane to kiss Vince's ass.
Oh, I love wrestling.
Yeah. Don't you love watching a son eat his own father's ass?
Can you? Who do you think pitched that, and why was it Vince McMahon?
Vince absolutely pitched it.
Vince was 100.
Vince pitched having Stephanie's baby, and then when Stephanie said no, he thought the problem was, it's because it's I'm your dad. I'm too old for you. You can have Shane's baby. Like that was the next pitch.
What? Wait, I don't know if I knew that second part of the story. What? So, I hate him. I hate him so much.
Stephanie obviously shot down that other pitch too, but
yeah. Also, I love you said it as Vince having Stephanie's baby, so I didn't realize Vince was a huge M-Preg guy.
Oh, my bad. I said it wrong.
No. Keep cooking.
Okay.
That's a fanfic I would love to read.
So Shawn beats Vince despite all the odds, and correct. So I'll just give a little bit of a preview. On tonight's episode of Raw, Vince is about to huff the world's biggest supply of copium that has ever happened.
They're just gonna wheel out like a 50, like a 500-pound tank, and Vince is gonna just take the hose and just right into his fucking mouth.
Yep. So that happened to me. Let's cover the other matches at WrestleMania. There are a lot of matches at WrestleMania. Oof. So the opening match of the show is Big Show and Kane, who are the tag team champions, defending the title against Carlito and Chris Masters, which is a good excuse to talk about Vince's flunkies in general, I think, because Chris Masters and Carlito are both Vince's flunkies, and they got this match because they helped Vince with some scheme or other with Shawn Michaels.
Sure.
That's why they have the tag title match. You all know Carlito, but I'll remind you anyway. Is Carlito? He's Caribbean. He spits apples in the face of people who don't want to be cool.
Yeah, he soft spit with people who are cool.
That's right. Yeah, that's true. That's what I said. Chris Masters, he is kind of he's the gimmick is that he is bodybuilder jacked, but also he puts people in the full Nelson, which is called the Master Lock. And it is allegedly unbreakable. No one has broken out of the Master Lock.
Really? Yet. They never did a this motherfucker like he tries to.
Oh, they will eventually. They will eventually, but as of now, no one has ever broken the Master Lock. And then the Spirit Squad. They are a group of male cheerleaders.
I was wondering.
The entire joke. They are 5 male cheerleaders. I only could name you 2 of them, Nikki and Kenny, because they're the only 2 with any sort of like positive feed that anyone cares about. Kenny Dykstra, who is kind of considered like a good prospect who just never panned out, and Nikki, aka Nick Nemeth. You might know who he is the future Dolph Ziggler.
What?
But first, he is Nikki, a cheerleader.
Okay. That's awesome.
And like it, I'll be honest, there's less homophobic jokes than you would expect with this gimmick.
Man.
But they are all just male cheerleaders. That's the whole bit.
Man, it would suck, but I think instead of being like cheerleaders, I think it'd be awesome if the Spirit Squad were like knockoff Ghostbusters or something like that. I think that would be even better. But the fact that we have baby Dolph Ziggler as a male cheerleader does sound pretty intriguing.
Yeah. Anyway, Big Show and Kane. I don't even know why they're they're on this.
There is no point.
I don't know why they're champs. Well, guess what? They were tag champs and they won.
Okay,
so there you go.
Austin. There is no point in questioning why Kane is tagging with and somehow tag champions with any random motherfucker. You could tell me that Shane, Jesus, that Kane and Shane McMahon had a tag team. You could tell me that Kane and, I don't know, Stacy Keibler had a tag team. You could tell me that Kane and fucking like, you could tell me that like Kane fucking got Ultimate Warrior back from the dead to be in a tag team, and I would believe it. Well, I guess he wasn't dead at this point. My point being, this is a weird amount of Kane's career is him tag teaming with motherfuckers who you're like, huh. It's somehow getting tag belts out of it.
Do you want to take a guess at how many people that Kane has won tag titles with?
I'm going to say
take a shot in the dark on that one.
I'm going to say roughly 10.
You're close. It's 9 total.
Yeah.
So in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, he was tag champs with Al Snow.
Wait, was he Kane in Smoky Mountain Wrestling?
He probably would have been what would he have gone by at Smoky Mountain? I'm kind of curious. In Smoky Mountain he was Unabomb.
Oh, this was Unabomb. Oh fuck. I mean, to be fair, Unabomb is kind of proto Kane, so that is close enough.
Right, and he would tag team with Al Snow called the Dynamic Duo.
Sure. That's fine, whatever.
In the WWE, he's an 11-time tag champion with 8 different partners. He has won the tag titles with The Big Show. These are not chronological. Daniel Bryan.
Hell no.
Mankind.
Yep.
Actually, 7 different partners because he won 2 different tag belts with The Big Show. Okay, so
that's more. That's more than I was expecting.
Big Show, Daniel Bryan, Mankind, X-Pac, The Undertaker, Hurricane, and Rob Van Dam.
Wait, he and RVD? What? You think he just picked names out of a hat? You think that's how he got some of these? I don't know, man.
Maybe.
Anyway, continue.
But yes, anyway, back to what we were doing here. So the next match was the Money in the Bank ladder match, the second ever. Nowadays it's its own pay-per-view, obviously, but originally Money in the Bank match was a special match on WrestleMania.
Yeah.
For several years. The Money in the Bank was won by Edge. This is the second Money in the Bank.
Oh.
Won by Rob Van Dam. Yep, RVD, he gets high and jumps off of things. He wins.
That was clever.
He wins the Money in the Bank match. He beats Bobby Lashley, Finlay, Matt Hardy, Ric Flair, and Shelton Benjamin in the Money in the Bank ladder match.
That's a kind of small Money in the Bank match, isn't it?
It's 6 people. That was reasonable for the time.
That's
fair. They did a whole spot where Ric Flair had to be stretchered out after falling off a ladder, and then he comes back heroically later in the match. I'm glad that WWE's medicals team is looking at a 55-year-old falling off a ladder, and he says, "Yep, you're still good to go back out there, bud."
Absolutely. Well, we who is to say that they don't just want the base thing of Ric Flair being Ric Flairant.
And dying.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So then next match for the US title, we get Chris Benoit defending his belt against JBL, a rare instance where JBL is the good guy by default.
Correct.
And JBL wins with cheaty shenanigans in under 10 minutes. So whoopity do. And then a big hardcore match, one of the biggest highlights from this show, Edge versus Mick Foley.
Oh,
I did not do a ton of research into the storyline of going into this match, but this is during a period of time where Mick Foley is like, I am putting over motherfuckers in hardcore matches. This is honestly one of, if not his last good match. I don't remember when his hardcore match with Orton was, but this is absolutely one of his last good matches in his career.
That's exciting.
Where he and Edge kick ass, and it ends with one of the most famous spots in Mania history. Mick Foley is on the apron. Behind him, Lita lights a table on fire, and Edge spears Mick Foley off the apron and through the table.
Holy shit, dude. That sounds like an insanely good match.
It is. Edge wins, as you'd probably expect. Though also, Mick Foley did a really cool spot where Edge speared Foley and injured himself, and it's because Mick Foley strapped a barbed wire board under his shirt so that when Edge speared him, he would be spearing barbed wire.
Holy fuck. Yeah, that won't backfire at all.
Well, I mean, it worked. Edge got bloodied up on it, but it's fine.
That is funny though. I'm sure Foley felt. Oh my god, that's awesome.
So then the next match is an intergender handicap match between Booker T and Queen Sharmell versus the Boogeyman.
Okay.
So the Boogeyman has now debuted. He was coming to get you.
He finally came.
He finally came. So the Boogeyman's gimmick is that he dresses, he does like full weird, scary makeup. He breaks clocks over his head and he eats worms.
And also
real live worms.
Yeah, and also weird convoluted thing about him not actually being supernatural, but being like a delusional actor.
Right. So I guess if we want to give the real story, he was introduced during a bit by Palmer Cannon, aka PC, playing an evil authority figure character on SmackDown. He was a failed actor for a TV show for the Boogeyman, who got way too into the character and now just thinks he's the Boogeyman. This is method acting gone wrong.
Yeah, Heath Ledger's watching this at home and taking notes.
He is. So he is a weird weirdo, and he freaks out Booker and Sharmell, who, by the way, Booker is currently King Booker. After winning King of the Ring, Booker T gets a scepter and a fake accent, and he's like, I am King Booker!
King Booker!
And with his Queen Sharmell. Anyway, the match ends when Boogeyman is eating the worms as he does.
As you do during a match.
Then he makes out with Sharmell so that she has to eat the worms it is in his mouth. And this causes Booker T to have a blue screen of death and just reboots his brain, I guess. So Boogeyman can hit the Boogeyman Slam and pin Booker T for the win.
That doesn't feel correct. I can just imagine, like, just Booker freezing out. I can imagine Booker never kissing his wife ever again because of the worms. He's like, nah, it's still infected.
Mm-hmm. I can't trust it. Anyway, so great. It was under 4 minutes. Fantastic. Glad we had fun here.
It's funny too, because I've heard Booker talk about like the King Booker era as like maybe the favorite era of his entire career.
It was it was honestly really good, and it was the only time WWE gave him a world title. But also there was the WrestleMania match with the Booker.
That feels quite disrespectful to the king, but, who am I to judge?
All right, then the next match was for the women's title. One of the rare times the women's title was on the line at WrestleMania. I can probably last time we investigated this before, I think, but pre-women's revolution didn't happen much. And it is Trish Stratus versus Mickie James.
Oh, hey.
So this is an iconic storyline. It was Mickey's debut storyline in the company. She basically came into the company as a Trish Stratus fangirl.
Oh,
she
shit.
is completely obsessed with Trish Stratus. And Trish was kind of weirded out by this.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And basically, there was eventually a split, a rift. I already have forgotten what happened. And Mickie James turns into a literally lesbian stalker. There's multiple times where Mickie forcibly kisses Trish, making it clear that it's not just like platonic stalkery.
I'm sure that Jerry Lawler has a very normal reaction to this on commentary.
Jerry! He's not even doing commentary with Jim anymore. Fuck!
Oh, he's not? Oh,
right now the commentary teams are Jim Ross and Taz on SmackDown.
Oh my.
And Michael, and then it's like Cole. I think it's Michael Cole, Jerry Lawler, and Jonathan Coachman on Raw. So honestly, Jerry was probably relatively normal about the kissing.
Because
he's a baby face right now.
He plays face to like Michael Cole, like early heel Michael Cole shit.
No, Cole is actually also a babyface. Coachman is the heel because he is like he was Vince's assistant, so he is a total.
Do I remember Coachman being obnoxious, or am I just like making shit up?
I mean, he's well known for being obnoxious, but I don't know if you have seen him be obnoxious. Okay. It's just like known within the fandom.
Okay, sure.
So anyway, at WrestleMania, this match is famous for having a spot that has been censored out of the network. And it's hard to find. And I say that, I mean, like when I say hard to find, I mean you have to go on Daily Motion to find it.
Oh God. That's how you know it's
but
bad.
Basically, again, this is a lesbian. There's the lesbian undertones. And
undertones.
Fair. So in one part in the match, Mickie, as part of a slam, grips Trish in the vagina and slams her. And then hold on, there's more. There's not just that, okay? After that, after she grips Trish in the vagina, I say that again. She licks her hand and then does like the V lick thing.
Lesbian undertone.
Right to the camera. You're right. And apparently she didn't clear that with anyone, and Vince hated the spot allegedly. And it is now censored and gone from the network forevermore.
I'm deeply surprised that Vince did not like that, but okay.
He was like, think of the children and the sponsors.
Think of the children during the ruthless aggression era.
Yeah, it was really
that
stupid.
Makes no goddamn sense, but okay.
Yeah, but it's famous. It's actually otherwise a really good match. One of the better women's matches you're going to see on pay-per-view at this point in time. And Mickie wins, beating Trish with her own move to become the champion.
Okay, that's kind of cool. I will say you talked about that. All I can imagine is that one scene from the like sexual harassment safety workshop episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where Mac fucking grabs Dee by the vagina and just like lifts her into the air like the fucking Hulk. And everyone was like, and the seminar people were like, what? Don't do that. And Dee's like, no, that's cool. Can we do it again? That's what I'm imagining.
Okay. Sure. Might as well. Anyway, the next match is the obligatory Undertaker match.
Is the streak?
We're streaking.
I love streaking with the Undertaker. It's one of my favorite activities.
Yes. He is in a casket match against Mark Henry.
Oh, hey. Oh yeah. Oh fuck. This is one of those because Henry was one of the people who might have ended up breaking the streak.
I hope not, because it was a bad match.
Well, yeah, but Vince
and
was
honestly,
Vince was before like the streak was like really a thing. Vince Mark Henry was one of the opponents that Vince considered like putting having the Undertaker put over. And I don't know if it was Henry himself that shot it down or Taker or if it was but like because I remember hearing Edge talk about it because Edge was another guy who was maybe supposed to beat Taker at Mania and Edge turned it
close.
down.
That was a main event title match between Edge and Undertaker, so it was I'm sure it was a consideration.
Yeah, and Edge turned it down because he knew like how cool it was that the Taker had that streak, and he's like, I'm not the guy to end it.
Yeah. Anyway, so this casket match with Mark Henry. Right now, Mark Henry's in that period of time where they're like, shit, let's push him.
Cool.
I think he has Tony Atlas as his manager right now.
Huh.
I think that's what era we're in. Anyway, Taker wins in like 9 minutes. The match sucks.
God damn it.
It feels very reminiscent of his matches with like plotting big dudes in the 90s.
Yeah.
Because like after Hulk Hogan left, Undertaker kind of took up the role as the giant slayer in the WWF. Like all big men in the WWF eventually had a match with babyface Undertaker.
Yeah.
And lost. And so this felt like that. Is like Undertaker's beating up a big guy.
Well, that's like the Giant Gonzalez match and shit. Yeah.
It was. That was also, a Undertaker fighting a big dude because he's big match. Then was Shawn and Vince. Amusingly, before the match though, Vince, in attempting to mock Shawn and his religious beliefs, makes his entire family backstage sit and pray with him. and he promises to send Shawn to hell.
Vince leads a family prayer session going, ha, that'll show that religious nerd.
Well, it's the kind of egocentric bullshit that you'd expect from Vince, of course.
Sure.
Then the next match, a triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship between Kurt Angle, Randy Orton, and Rey Mysterio.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
So I didn't do a ton of research into this match because it's on SmackDown. It doesn't matter anyway. But Kurt Angle is the world champion. Rey Mysterio wins the Royal Rumble in honor of Eddie.
Aww.
And that becomes a big sticking point of this feud. I do know that much. I believe this is the feud where like Randy Orton wrecks Eddie's lowrider, and he also tells Rey to his face that Eddie, he's not up there in heaven, he's down there in hell.
I mean, if we're going off Eddie Guerrero the character, he's probably not wrong, but also think of the heat, brother.
Yeah, listen, it's one of those things that I think gets weird in wrestling because nobody is just a fictional character. All fictional characters are also just real people.
Yeah.
So it feels weird to like if Eddie was just a fictional character, if this was like Lucha Underground and they just wrote him off, I wouldn't care if someone was like, yeah, he's in hell.
Yeah.
But it's weirder that Eddie is dead because Eddie the character is dead because Eddie the person is dead.
Yes. But also, like, well, it's also the weird, like, double think of, like, we know that Eddie the person was not the world's biggest rat bastard, and so, like, now his memory gets honored with, love and respect, even though in kayfabe he should be, like, his memory should be reviled and people should be, like, pissing on his grave.
A little bit.
So, like, it's a weird situation all around, but think of the heat, brother!
Yeah, listen, 6 months ago, Rey was fighting Eddie for the custody of his child, and now he's like, I'm doing it for you, Eddie. Anyway, Rey wins. He wins the title.
Base.
The match goes only 9 minutes because Shawn and Vince ran too long, so they had cut for time.
Oh my god.
But Rey Mysterio becomes world champion, and I don't have to think about how Vince books Rey as a world champion because right now he can just bask in the glow.
It's on SmackDown.
Positive vibes.
Don't think about it.
Yep. Then we get the most dignified match of the show: Tori Wilson versus Candice Michelle in a Playboy pillow fight match.
And I'm sure Jerry Lawler had a really normal reaction. Oh, no, it haunts my dreams.
Yeah, so like WWE, we're still, even though we're still in this era of where WWE annually gets one of their women's wrestlers gets a Playboy spread, and then they have a tie-in match at Mania, usually over other women being like, you bitch, I wanted to be on the cover of Playboy.
Compelling, the drama, the deep psychological storytelling.
They did this shit every year until they went PG. I don't even remember which one of them made it on the cover of Playboy, but Tori Wilson, who is usually a babyface, she wins. Cool. That was the match. The end.
Cool.
Then the main event of WrestleMania 22. John Cena defending the WWE Championship against Triple H.
Jesus Christ. Was Cena really like up and up by now in 2006?
Yeah, his crowning moment was last WrestleMania when he beat JBL for the title.
So are we at Doctor of Thugonomics Cena?
We are just past Doctor of Thugonomics.
Really?
He transitions out of that character to when he becomes champion.
Shit, okay.
And that's kind of the story of this feud. This feud textually is very boring.
Yeah.
It is basic babyface John Cena and basic heel Triple H being like, I am the game. I can manipulate. I will manipulate and defeat you. And Shawn Cena's like, you can't see me. Fine speech. Rubs bald spot. That.
I think you were just inhabited by the spirits of Triple H and John Cena, respectively. That was dead on. I saw no flaws in either of them.
The only interesting part of this story is the meta level of this, the meta narrative. Because I'll tell you what, John Cena getting away from being a dude who raps about, who does 2000s battle rap.
Yeah.
That none of it ages well today.
Well, of course not. That's part of the charm of 2000s battle rap.
Anyway, he's not that guy anymore. And the fans are starting to not like him.
Really? It was that quick?
It was that quick.
What the fuck?
It took them a year to kill half of John Cena's goodwill.
What the fuck? How?
It's pretty easy. Get rid of the cool rap stuff that people like.
Yeah.
And make him. And while he's still kind of edgy in that way that, like, it's still TV 14 and it's 2006, but not like in a way he says anything super controversial. He is a clean-cut babyface character.
Yeah.
But he's just kind of a snarky dick because that's the times. And they put him against Triple H because the fans fucking hate Triple H for being a boring world champion for 2.5 years. So they're like,
how many
shit,
years?
The reign of terror, Triple H.
Oh, fuck, this era. Oh, shit.
We are just past the reign of terror. So they're like, guys, we can get Cena cheered again if we put him against Triple H. And no, that didn't work.
The fans were like picking between the like biggest trolley problem in the fucking history.
It was kind of a case of like, boo, we hate you. It was a lot of like, yay, you beat up a guy we like. Wait, we also hate you. Boo.
Wait, hold up. Wait, we just realized we've been
Wait a minute.
Never mind.
And also, this is when WWE decided to try to take the online criticisms of John Cena and weave that into the narrative.
Oh, no.
Basically, they play up this idea of John Cena isn't, a technically sound wrestler. He's a fighter. He's a brawler. He's not a good in-ring wrestler. And Triple H, he is a traditionalist. He is someone who appeals to, he is a technical wrestler who appeals to the old school fans.
Yeah.
And it sucks. 'Cause it's dumb.
That's the narrative so again, I am the game.
I am the game. I'm the cerebral assassin.
Fuck me, dude.
He just has Triple H just had long rambling speeches about nothing. And then John Cena was like, LOL, bet about nothing.
I think we just got like an actually just like life-size like talking action figure of Triple H to run this one. The Hunter couldn't be bothered. Paul said no.
But this match was also trying to like get back Cena fans and also cement John Cena as a top guy. For comparison, as you know, that Batista won the world title at last WrestleMania as well. That was a big deal, is that Cena won the WWE title for the first time, and Batista won the world title in the main event for the first time. And Batista has already lost his belt.
What the fuck?
And fallen off here. As you might have noted, he isn't on this Mania at all.
He's not.
And admittedly, I think he's kind of injured right now. But, it's like, already, it's like, all right, Cena is the guy.
I feel like Batista's like kind of new age Ultimate Warrior in that like they got him up there and he was super over, and then they like actually gave him shit and they're like, oh wait, he's like kind of except he's far less problematic as a person than Warrior, obviously.
I actually like that comparison. But this is supposed to be Cena is still the WWE champion from the prior year, and this is the cementing match. And to prove that point,
a year later,
this is the way, like, he's not a flash in the pan like a Batista.
Oh, okay.
This is to cement that, like, he is definitely for sure the top guy going forward.
Correct.
Like, it's not like a fluke situation.
Valid.
And when a lot of people thought Triple H might beat Cena here because Triple H is Triple H, he wins the belt a lot. But in the end, John Cena not only beats Triple H, he makes Triple H tap out in the STFU.
Oh, wow. That is cementing.
So, like, big put over moment. And probably the most fun part of this main event is that it was in Chicago and both guys had special entrances. Triple H kind of has his first over the top WrestleMania entrance when he comes in with Conan the Barbarians.
Oh, this is that one. That's cute.
But also, John Cena had a big bit too, where he dressed like he was in the Mafia. Get it? Because Chicago.
Oh,
and this is the one where one of the extras in his entrance is CM Punk.
That's where he fucking belongs. Fuck you, Phil.
Yeah, so that's the only fun, interesting fact. This match is pretty mid otherwise. It's 22 minutes of mid.
Oh, no.
So that is the recap on WrestleMania 22.
That makes a lot of sense. That sure was a WrestleMania. And man, it sure seems like we got a whole lot of, well, some of this is interesting to me. I'm well, fuck, we got a lot of shit like finished up, so I'll be interested to see like what the fuck else we see from this going forward. I assume Big Show and Kane, by the way, retained their championships.
Oh, did I not say so? Yes,
you might have. I just couldn't remember.
Yeah, no, they are still the champs.
We do have RVD with Money in the Bank though. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, and so I do want to emphasize here that this is the era of the brand split.
Yes.
I don't think are they still doing brand exclusive? They are. To that back the pay-per-view we're building to 2000 Backlash 2006 was a Raw exclusive show. So right now the brand split is hard.
Oh, wow.
Everyone is on their separate shows. There is no crossover, and WWE is trying to make brand-specific pay-per-views work.
Huh.
They will be done with this within a year, because the problem they always run into is there's not enough star power to make these pay-per-views work. Like, you probably could have decent shows with like brand exclusive pay-per-views. I think there are a few decent brand exclusive pay-per-views, but this is still a pay-per-view. You're trying to sell people on a monthly basis to get people to put down $50 for these shows. And with only half your star power, doesn't really go great.
Correct. Like, if you have people that exclusively watch one show over the other, they're not buying the pay-per-views that don't belong to their brand. There's some
the
big
economics
flaws here.
And like, there's only so many big matches you can put on one pay-per-view when you only have half your roster.
Yep.
So it's one of those things that's kind of a cool in theory. It's the kind of thing I like when I play booking sims. I like to do brand exclusive pay-per-views because it's a computer. It always works out fine.
Yeah.
But in real life, they have pretty much never been the most financially best move to do.
Yeah, bigly not thought through.
Yeah, it didn't work when it was pay-per-views, and then they brought it back in the network era, and it didn't really work then either. So, and now they're just like, everybody can be on everything. Correct. It's fine. From a pure business perspective, it's the right call.
Yeah.
As cool as I think the idea of brand exclusive pay-per-views are.
Yeah. I would fully agree with that. It's just not feasible, man.
No.
Anyway.
So if you'd like to watch along with us, forgot to say, is that we're watching the April 3rd, 2006 episode of Raw. So if you want to watch that along with us, you can do that at Peacock, NBC Universal's big old streaming service. It's where WWE licenses out all of their content, including every episode of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Yep. And so we'll be back in the back half to discuss the April 3rd, 2006 episode of Raw, the Raw after WrestleMania 22.
Vince wants to fight God. Let's go.
And we are back. We have finished the April 3rd, 2006 episode of Raw, the Raw after WrestleMania 22.
The Raw after WrestleMania 22, and the power is back. Vince forgot to pay the utilities bill for a few weeks. The opening, like, woo! If you smell
the world is watching. They got
yes, sir. We promise you a tremendous bout.
It's not the same one as they used in 2012 when I came in, so I don't know all the words of this one. But it's the same, format.
But the tagline is "The power is back," which is so bizarre. So I just imagine Vince being like, "Oh fuck, I forgot to pay the utilities bill this month." Shit.
He was too busy oiling himself up to fight Shawn.
Fight Shawn. Well, probably fight Shane too, but that's
yeah,
totally different set of circumstances there.
The world is watching, and then with no build up, just straight into it.
Oh my god, we get no formalities from commentary, nothing. We're just going, and I guess we're gonna be going for Check's Watch. What a shock! 20 fucking minutes.
Yeah, we got to open the show. We got to open Raw with a long promo. Yeah, we are here in Chicago, same building as WrestleMania 22. They still have the WrestleMania 22 banners up in the background,
which is confusing. I did notice that and wondered why.
Yeah, I don't know, but
are they in the habit? Like, is it like fucking like Christmas decorations you just don't feel like taking down for a while? They just kind of like keep it up and they're like, we'll get to it eventually.
I'm sure next week they'll be gone, but they're still in the building, so they said, fuck it, we're not taking them down.
Literally, yeah, so your old Christmas order.
Yeah, so John Cena is here in camo because he supports the troops and not in multicolored shirts yet.
Was it camo? Cool. I thought it was just like black. Was it black camo?
Well, it's a black shirt with the camo hat. is what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. That's
his
fair.
camo supports the troops hat.
Oh yeah, he's got a. This is how he shows that he's a good guy who you should love, is because he supports them troops. Also watch the Marine now streaming.
Yeah. I wish the Marine was streaming. We would watch it on this podcast. We would watch
the Marine. Would to quote the great philosopher Slavoj Žižek, I would prefer not to.
Well, too bad.
No, well, yeah, fair enough.
I did note that
question. Go for it.
I was made note that Joey Styles is here. I actually messed up the commentary team for Raw.
Yeah,
because it's Joey Styles, Jerry Lawler, and Jonathan Coachman.
Yeah, because we had the ECW acquisition in 05.
Yeah, and we are starting to lean harder into it. I wonder what is about to. 2005, we already had the one night stand, but I wonder
we had one night stand.
If we're building to anything in 2006 related to ECW.
Interesting. Hey, who's that one guy who was a gangster at John Cena's WrestleMania entrance? Don't worry about it. He looked kind of familiar. Don't worry. So question for you. So John Cena, world champion of the world of WWE.
The WWE champion, that's correct.
Yes, that's true. So he has the spinny belt. Did we have the spinny belt in 05? When did that come in?
He created the spinny belt. Because he created a spinny belt for the U.S. title when he won that. And then when he beat JBL for the WWE title, he created a spinny belt for the WWE title.
Wait, what the fuck? Wait, when did he... The spinny belt for the U.S. title? That sounds like it's ugly as sin.
Well, the U.S. title, it looks very different to the U.S. title you're thinking of. But I mean, go ahead and look it up. But like
U.S. title. Let me see. John Cena U.S. title. It's like a circle. Okay, sure.
Yeah, it's the circle-y belt.
He just really likes it. He just really likes shit that spins. He goes, ooh, shit.
Well, it's WWE trying to do Flava Flav shit, I think. But
how do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so he's the inventor of the spinny belt, and they decided to just keep it for 8 years.
Outstanding. So when he won last year, he instated this mini belt.
Yes.
Cool. All right. So Cena comes in, and of course we're, like you said, oh man, this crowd is evenly fucking. We sure are at like post-crisis John Cena, where
we are in Smarksville, and John Cena has lost the Smarks.
John Cena is not. He doesn't do white rapping anymore. How do you expect me to support him if he doesn't do white rapping anymore?
Yeah, so Cena comes in, gets in the ring, and he's like, hey, stop the music. I want to hear this. Boo!
Yeah. I mean, okay, this is probably cringe to talk about. I feel like Cena is, like, kind of the meta heel. Like, if this, like, because he proceeds to cut, like, basically the most like boilerplate Cena shit promo there is, it's not a popularity contest. I put in the work. I respect my opponent. Blah blah blah. He made some weird crack about like, for those in the free world just waking up out of hibernation. What the fuck was that supposed to mean?
I don't know what that's about.
I'm so confused. But like, is that like wake up sheeple? Like, what is happening? But like, the promo he cuts, like, even though it's like the virtuous like face or whatever, with the added like context of like half these people fucking hate Cena, like it is
and
kind
Cena
of
being
some
very aware of it.
Yeah, and I feel like if it were not him, that promo could easily come out of a heel's mouth word for word and like be taken as the smarmy bullshit that it is.
Before we had Cody in the AEW Codyverse, we had John Cena.
So what do you guys want to talk about?
Where everyone's just begging this fucker to turn heel.
I know, and he never does. And
thankfully,
he never does.
Thankfully, the WWE machine means that nobody was out here pretending this was a long con to get him to turn heel. Everyone just accepted that WWE is not doing it. And we're just kind of stuck.
That is the nice thing of like, sometimes you gotta have those lower expectations. But yeah, so Cena, blah 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 blah, and oh my god, so you didn't tell me, Austin, they were still gonna be running this fucking feud. I was like, oh okay, so Cena and Triple H did the thing at WrestleMania. Cool. We're gonna move on to something more interesting for Cena to be involved with, relatively.
No, he's still feuding with the game, but I do want to note.
Assassin.
I do want to note. Cena in the middle. He's like, in the middle of last night's gala. Cena sucks. Cena sucks. Well, there was a large group of people that wanted to see, and then, except not, because he comes out to King of Kings instead
because he's a bad guy now, so he's King of Kings.
He's in the goofy ass Triple H graphic of the animated skull with
the skull with like the weirdly protruding cheekbones.
And then Triple H is in his like I want to be Harley Race era where he has this stupid handlebar mustache.
Oh, Triple H is at like I'll touch on it in specifics, but like Triple H is at like he is at his like perfect middle ground between like degeneration X Uber heel Triple H and corporate Triple H a few years down the line. Like
this
we are
Triple
at
H
like
wants to so desperately be cool, and he's really not.
We should get Carlito to spin in his face.
Yeah. So and I do note as he's coming down to the ring, we talked about this in the front half, but you got Joey Styles on commentary being like how Triple H appeals to many traditional wrestling fans, and Coach is like, "Hey, I'm a new school kid. I'm hip, but I still like Triple H." And Jerry Lawler's starting to be like, well, yeah, he doesn't even care about the fans. So what's the point in cheering for him?
Bro, this weird, like, thing they're trying to do with, like, this reads like a prototype version of what they tried to do with Roman Reigns when he got pushed to the moon, of, like, desperately establish any narrative whatsoever to justify the fact that like this is our top guy, despite the fact that motherfuckers do not like him and do not want him here.
It's trying to win back the internet crowd by weaving an internet narrative into the textual narrative. Well,
except it's internet narrative written by fucking boomers who don't understand how internet discourse works. So it's just the most like tone.
Yeah, and you think internet discourse likes Triple H either? Because they don't.
Internet discourse are like they have videos of the Reign of Terror. They make fucking like Evanescence compilations to like how painful it was to watch.
Wake me up, bring me to life set to Triple H pinning people, and you're hoping that one of these guys wakes one of these dudes from the Reign of Terror.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. No.
Like the internet didn't turn around on Triple H till he became NXT Booker Triple H. Papa H was when the narrative about Triple H turned around. Active main event wrestler Triple H in the 2000s. Fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Why do I gotta keep seeing his stupid ass?
Once he started proving that he's actually like a talented booker, like, and there is a reason for him to be backstage other than just son-in-law. He earned a lot of respect and rightfully so. But man, 2006, they're not this narrative they're trying to push. Oh, it's a rough one. Triple H, he comes to the ring and he tries to offer like Cena the handshake, and
then Cena takes forever, and then he goes too slow.
Yeah, that's the thing. Cena contemplates whether he's dumb enough to fall for that crap, and then he is. But instead of Triple H like punishing it by, I don't know, pulling him into a pedigree or some shit, he just too slows him. Brilliant. So this is what I'm talking about, of like weird in between of like Triple H's two like characters of like Attitude Era heel Triple H versus like PG era corporate Triple H is.
And I also can't tell if he wants to be bleeding to being a babyface or not. And maybe this is me doing meta knowledge of where this goes. Because, as I mentioned, the Shawn story is cycling its way back to where Triple H and Shawn Michaels get DX back together as babyfaces. Yes. Triple H right now is definitely a heel, even if even if Cena isn't well liked to a decent percentage of the audience.
Yeah, but like,
and I'm wondering
story that
because first Triple H is kind of like, I gotta hand it to you, Cena. You're a tough kid. The whole world saw me kick your ass last night, but you found a way to win. Respectful loser. But then he's like, and I'm pissed off about it.
Yeah, so it's like, it's what we saw from him, like the veneer of professionalism that we got from him during the Yes movement, and even during Summer of Punk to an extent, but also still like petulant piss baby. For some reason, has convinced himself that he is still entitled to this belt.
Yes. So, because he gives this whole bit about how I'm not mad at you, I'm mad at me because I underestimated you. And he takes off his sunglasses because he thinks he's cool.
That's serious business.
And he's like, trust me when I tell you this, it will never happen again. And he's like, the way I see it, this belt is mine, and I want another shot. Like, in what world? In what world? You lost straight the fuck up. No bullshit.
Yeah, I don't like this is copium, but the copium even doesn't stand up because his justification is that he was dominant for most of the match.
He just didn't take Cena seriously enough and let himself get caught.
Yeah. And Edge and then Edge comes out.
Here comes Edge and Lita, the rated R superstar.
Yeah, true. And Edge is here to make the correct point to Triple H that nobody wants this, and considering he just like won the most insane match of the night last night, like beating Mick Foley at his own game, he feels like he's pretty far in front of the line, and Triple H needs to back the fuck up.
And he mentions
Triple H is like
unbeaten at Mania so far, and Triple H is like, "Oh, you're perfect at Mania. Well, that's impressive, isn't it? Oh, how many of those matches were in the main event? Oh, that's right, and none of them."
Yeah, and then Hunter, Edge points out that he's beaten Cena for the championship.
I made that note before they did, because he calls Edge a curtain jerker, and he's like, we'll let the main eventers handle their business.
Yeah, Hunter says my reign is bigger than yours. Edge says it's not about size, it's what you do with it. And then Triple H, incensed at all of this, basically is like, all right, tough guy, let's have a match tonight. And Cena pipes in with thinking he's a genius because he suggests, hey, why don't you have the match for contendership of my belt? Really, Cena? Wow. No way.
Hey, I don't want to just bulldoze over the way Cena interjected himself back into the conversation. Please. When he's like, well, seems like He-Man and Skeletor have business to deal with, so I'm just going to step out. And before Cena gets to his next line, as he tries to leave, Edge just tries to be like, hey, She-Ra. Like, he just tries to call Cena She-Ra a couple of times, but he also says nothing else until Cena then suggests, like, what if you guys fight it out tonight for the number one? It was so worthless.
I looked around. I was like, who the fuck are you talking to?
No, Edge was trying to, like, turn it back on him, and it failed completely.
And it flopped so hard. Edge has never watched He-Man a day in his life, and
he just knows She-Ra is a character, and it's a woman. So there we go. I got this.
There you go. And Lita's here too.
I got things to say about Lita when we get to when Edge's entrance later.
Oh, well, because my thing is she's just standing there. She's nothing but moral support for Edge.
She is here to be hot now. Like that.
Yeah.
She doesn't wrestle. She's not wrestling anymore. She's not being a solid in-ring competitor that's well respected. She's here to be hot.
Okay.
Anyway, Edge is like, no, I will not have a match tonight. I have second-degree burns.
Yeah. Well, he says not a one-on-one match.
Yeah, Edge is like, I got a better idea. What if me and Triple H teamed up 2-on-1 to face, and I quote, Cena's hip-hop hippo bling-bling ass?
And Cena goes, what the fuck did you just say?
What corny white guy shit did you just say to me?
Yeah, and again, this is coming from a former white rapper. Edge, you should just pack it all in now. You're done.
Yeah, I did like Triple H and Edge trying to like force Cena to accept. Like Edge being like, I know you wouldn't want to let down your chain gang members, but you don't have many of those left, do ya? And Triple H is like, you don't want to be a coward, do ya? Like, yeah.
So Edge proposes this not even triple threat, this fucking handicap match.
Yeah.
For some reason. And Triple H, for some reason, is like, yeah, actually he has a point. I guess they're trying to build it off of Cena being like, I don't know, a fighting champ or whatever. But it's so fucking dumb and transparent. And then Cena's like, well, he starts to be like, oh, well, this is the point where I tuck tail and run, and then he starts to leave the ring. But he's like, but I'm a fucking idiot, so I'm going to say yes anyway.
I may be a stupid son of a bitch, but I am a tough son of a bitch.
Yeah. And Lita was there, too.
So after that, the main event of tonight, Cena versus Triple H and Edge in a 2-on-1 handicap match.
Outstanding.
Then...
Next up, Kane Show versus Spirit Squad for the tag belts. We talked about them. I remembered.
The Kane Big Show theme sure is something. Where it goes, well, it's the Big Show, and then immediately cuts to Kane's theme.
Brilliant mashup. 10 out of 10. Artistic genius.
WWE could be cooking so hard on these mashup themes if they just hired YouTubers, and yet they don't. And almost all of their theme mashups suck.
Look, Better Than You, baby, is also like a horrifying Frankenstein's monster.
Again, also, related note, AEW could be cooking on theme mashups if they hired YouTubers.
Yeah, see, but at least it's cute for them. At least it's cute that it's like so ham-fisted because MJF commissioned it and doesn't like have any sense of nuance or subtlety. But also agreed. Hire some goddamn YouTubers, you goddamn cowards. That's brilliant. Speaking of entrance music, poor Spirit Squad, I swear their music was like genetically engineered to make the crowd read them as gay coded as possible to know, like, I don't know, these guys are girly or whatever.
And yet they don't talk about that on commentary at all.
They don't, which is very nice.
Like on comment, I didn't know to this, is on commentary, Coach tries, as the heel commentator, tries to be like, well, you know, Jerry, male cheerleaders are some of the greatest athletes in the world. Did you know that? And Jerry Lawler's like, no, I didn't know that. I mean, from what I knew, if you can't be an athlete, you be an athletic supporter. It's just implying that they are lesser. They are not, male cheerleaders are not good enough to be real athletes, which is offensive in its own way, but at least it's not the obvious gay jokes.
Yeah, but like, man, base Coachman here standing up for the legitimacy of male cheerleading. You love to see it.
Kenny and Mikey are wrestling, if you were curious.
Kenny and Mike. Look, it wasn't Dolph Ziggler, so I didn't care as much. I have to say, Austin, that my first note on this match was, wow, this is totally going to be a full legit match and not a total fucking squash.
Well, you were kind of correct, but not in the way you thought.
Not in the way I thought.
Kane was so basically Kane just go ahead.
No, I had a journey with this because I say that, and then my next note is like, indented. I go, I'll give him this. This match is going on longer than I thought it would. And then it kept going. I'm like, man, Spirit Squad with the like teamwork shenanigans helping carry them through this match. This is interesting. This Oh boy. Anyway.
So Kane just kind of whoops ass for a while there as the commentators talk about how the cheerleaders are so energetic because they're young and hip and cool.
Mm-hmm.
That is their big talking point with the male cheerleaders, is how energetic they are. That is the talking point.
They're young and hip and cool, which means they're Triple H fans.
Of course.
Or no, they're Cena fans, pardon me.
Yeah, so Kane is going for a splash in the corner, but Mitch pulls Kenny out of the ring. And then the Spirit Squad is taking over the match now. And then hot tag to Will.
Yeah, okay. So one quick commentary note before that is they're talking about the teamwork shenanigans, because there are 5 members of the Spirit Squad versus a normal ass tag team of Big Show and Kane. And so like the 3 guys on the outside are just pulling every like shenanigans in the book to like get their buddies out of danger and to like get them into opportune spots at opportune times. And Coachman, being the heel commentator who's in the pocket for them, is standing up for them, and he talks about how like actually a lot of the shit they're doing isn't technically illegal, and like Joey Styles balks at this and is like, well, it's a bunch of bullshit. And Coachman goes, I didn't say it was moral. I was just saying it's probably legal, which is me when making weekend plans with my friends. But yes, Big Show gets the hot tag, which is not a sentence I thought I would ever say about a tag match with the Spirit Squad.
So he's going to town. He picks up Mickey and spins Mickey around to where Mickey knocks over the referee a little bit.
Then, nice little ref bump.
Then all 5 of the Spirit Squad get in the ring, and they like pick up and hoist Big Show up in the air and drop him down. And then Kenny hits a top rope leg drop, and the Spirit Squad have won the tag team title.
Bro, this was fucking insane. I literally started cackling when I watched this because I was so expecting this to be like jobber ass shit from the Spirit Squad, and then they proceed to squash Kane and the Big Show because
they win in sub 5 minutes.
It's so incredible. I was the journey I went on, because I started off being like, oh, okay, Spirit Squad, we're gonna be like, they're gay and they work for the corporation, so they're all like preppy or whatever. But in like over the course of this 5 minutes ish, they completely won me over, and I am now a full Spirit Squad stan. Thank you very much.
The commentary team is stunned by this. Joey Styles is like, am I awake right now?
Yeah. Styles correctly calls the dub from the Spirit Squad the biggest upset in WWE history. That's actually true. It's mathematically measurable. Thank you very much.
And then backstage, Maria Kanellis is the backstage interviewer now.
Yeah, hi Maria.
Notice that, but she is with the Spirit Squad, and they are just like, yeah. They're just totally feral, all 5 of them.
These guys are just coked out frat bros who happen to be cheerleaders.
That is exactly how you would describe this gimmick.
And then they do a roll call where they say their names in the most unhinged fashion ever.
Mitch! Nikki!
I swear to God, they did about... Holy shit. Yeah, I swear to God, they did about like 10 lines of coke in between like when they got the dub and when they got back to Maria. Record-breaking illicit drug consumption from the members of the Spirit Squad so they can properly celebrate their win. But yeah, I love these guys. I'm rooting for them. Godspeed, boys. What an iconic tag team.
I'm glad that we are not going to make it far enough for them to just be DX's bitch boys, because guess what? That's what here it goes.
No, come on. And then Dolph Ziggler becomes Dolph Ziggler. Woo! But yeah, so we get the commentary's talking about, they're doing social media shit, and they they show a screen grab from WWE.com that is so archaic. Like, the website itself looks like it's from the fucking 90s. What year is it? But also it's so low res that like a good 70% of the screen is just black, and then you get a small box of the actual like WWE.com screen grab in the middle. Yeah. Holy shit. Anyway,
but we get to highlights from the Money in the Bank match. It's weird to see actual highlights from a pay-per-view the night after a pay-per-view. Where are my still images?
Where are my still
black
images
and white photos?
Trying to make me pony up the rebuy.
Yeah, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Anyway, it all leads to RVD coming out. He cuts the promo. It's super generic, but
there's so very.
The ending is the most significant part here, where he's like, people have been asking me, when am I going to cash in the briefcase? And he's like, I'm not going to wait as long as Edge did, because this opportunity could not come at a better time. And he talks about how the timing on this is so good. It's so important. It's extreme.
Oh shit.
And they're like, what does he mean by that?
What? Joey Styles, who worked in ECW from its inception, goes, what could he mean by that?
Yeah, so even now they're planting the seeds of when RVD is going to be cashing in Money in the Bank, which I give them props for, considering it's not like we knew right now that like we're going to do One Night Stand in a couple months. Like that hadn't been announced or anything. So we're planting seeds early.
Yeah, that is pretty. Also, is RVD's WWE theme supposed to sound like knockoff Pantera? Because it kind of sounds like it's being knockoff Pantera.
Probably.
Okay. Anyway, Chris Masters comes out to do a jobber squash. He wins with the Master Lock in like 2 seconds.
He sure is a big muscle boy. That's what I'm worried about this match.
He is. You were correct. That man is fully yoked.
And then the Master Lock.
Nobody's ever broken the Master Lock. The ref didn't check
the arm 3 times. The ref just checked the jobber's arm 1 time. And
I love sometimes when the refs just don't follow that protocol and they decide, yep, he's dead. It's okay.
It's over.
Yeah, it's over. He ain't getting up from the ref. Just makes an executive decision of sorry about it. We swap spit with men who aren't cool.
I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool.
Yeah, that's what I said. We swap spit with men who aren't cool. Thank you.
Carlito is here. He gets in the ring. He bites his apple, and he's staring down. And it's like, oh shit, is he gonna do it? And then Apple spits at the jobber, and I wrote friendship wins. Next note, Carlito with a bat cracker to Masters.
And then he spits in Masters' face. So,
yeah,
just getting around
Carlito is blaming Chris Masters for the loss last night. And so friendship over.
My friendship with Carlito has ended. I don't know. Something is my new best friend now. I don't think Chris Masters has many friends.
Then I wrote, ooh boy, Shinedown. It's definitely 2006.
Shinedown?
Yeah, because they were hyping up the theme song Shinedown from Shinedown.
Okay, yep.
And I was like, yep, this is a 2006 ass rock band, Shinedown.
Oh, shit. Rock band invocation. This is 2006.
Can Nickelback come and kill the genre yet? Hurry up.
No. You got a few more years.
I mean, I guess in 2006, I guess they were already on the way there on doing that. So
yeah.
The genre is already dying a slow death, but that's a completely different podcast to talk about the history of rock in the 2000s.
You would do it too.
I would.
But yes, it is time.
Shawn Michaels is coming out.
Yeah, okay. I had this thought because I was explaining Shawn Michaels to a wrestling layman the other day, talking about like this episode we were doing, and I started talking about him, and I kind of realized like Shawn Michaels post Finding Jesus is in such a weird like purgatory, no pun intended,
where he still does sexy boy and shit, but he also he refuses to swear.
It is openly acknowledged that he's a Jesus boy now, but he still comes out to sexy boy and then proceeds to recreate D-Generation X in a few months.
Well,
So
the thing is, though, is that people are going to talk about that, is that he does DX, but then he also won't say suck it, and he won't do the crotch chop. Like,
he said,
he doesn't. He gets the crowd to do it.
Yep.
So we're now, Jesus boy Shawn is going to do DX, but also refuse to swear. So
that's so weird.
That's going to be one of the bigger criticisms of revival DX.
Of like,
that Shawn is too godly to want to do DX.
Yeah, it's just something is amiss here. But so he still like has these weird like indicators of his old fuckboy personality, but then just also doesn't do it. Weird. So Shawn Michaels, he comes down here to basically say like
self-congratulate himself a little bit.
Yeah, good match. I could have ended that with a single sweet chin music.
But I wanted to make Vince live his own personal hell, because that's what Vince was all about leading into the match. So he's like, I'm doing it. But he's like, a great weight has been lifted from my shoulders. I no longer need to deal with Vince's oiled up, orange-tinted body strutting down the aisle. I don't need to deal with public urination tests and bans and pointless Oscar speeches.
Yeah.
Now, Shawn, he's going to do what he asked Vince to do a long time ago. He's moving on.
Yeah. And he's like, what I would love to move on to? Kicking John Cena's ass. And okay, Shawn Michaels versus Cena sounds like it could be a fun Money.
Here comes the money. Money talk. Money.
God fucking damn it.
He's all mad. But then before Shane talks, Shawn's like, hold on. I like to have the crowd give a warm Chicago welcome to the newest member of the Vince McMahon Kiss My Club. That is exactly how he says it. He doesn't want to say ass.
My God, you fucking dweeb. I'm happy your life is turned around, but also, God damn it, Shawn.
So Shane doesn't acknowledge that bullshit at all. But he is brings out Vince, who is in a huge neck brace.
Bro, because you gave me the lead up of, we have Cena and Triple H that had their feud at Mania, and we're running that shit back. And then we had Shawn and Vince who had their feud at WrestleMania, and we're running that shit back. My favorite thing about WWE is the road to WrestleMania backlash and the feuds that would not fucking die a Sisyphusian myth as like the running theme.
It's a very modern WrestleMania problem of having a bunch of feuds, or even just the big feuds.
It's not just the fact that like just the fact that the next fucking the pay-per-view after WrestleMania is meant to be like a direct sequel to WrestleMania, but it's always dumber.
Yeah, a little bit. But
Vince has a big ass neck brace, which must mean that somebody's about to sue him. I'm taking bets now on what you think that would be.
That's true. This U.S. government has come up with new charges against him. He's got to get
like, oops, I broke my neck again. Right when I was about to have to go to court. Oh, no.
Anyway, you can bet listeners of this podcast that I transcribed all of Vince's absolute madness.
I'm very excited. Please.
Do you have any idea what you've done? You have any idea what you've done, Shawn Michaels? My devoted wife, Linda, was backstage at WrestleMania, and she witnessed what you did to me. My sweet, innocent daughter, Stephanie, likewise was backstage. She, too, witnessed what you did to me. And by the way, my daughter is 6 months pregnant.
Yeah, that match caused her to have a miscarriage.
But nothing could compare to the emotional scarring you put my son Shane through when you took his face and shoved it all the way up into my rectal cavity.
Oh my God. Bro, he is so convinced that Shane is like the most traumatized out of everyone. He says, I believe that Shane is. It's the next line. I believe Shane is psychologically and emotionally.
And then you handcuffed my son to the ring ropes and made him watch as you took liberties with me in the ring.
Oh,
you may not realize this. You may not care, but my son, Shane, is psychologically and emotionally scarred for life. Remember
See,
that.
I just thought that was a comorbidity of being raised by Vincent K. McMahon. So I'm gonna press X to doubt
also,
on that.
remember that he said that Shane is psychologically and
Oh,
emotionally
I know.
Later.
Oh,
anyway,
I made note of that. We'll get there.
And yet you, Shawn, want to move on? You want a title match? I'll tell you, there's no chance in hell of that happening. Matter of fact, I've got 2 words for you, Shawn. Shawn pauses, and he's like, you got 2 words for me? You got 2 words for me. And then Shawn's like, I got 2. This whole crowd's got 2 words for you, and that is suck it. Shawn doesn't. As I said, Shawn doesn't say it. He just gets the crowd to do it. Big, and then they all chant DX, 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 planting seeds. Vince ignores that, and he's like, my 2 words for you are divine intervention. Let me repeat that. Divine intervention, as if he expected that to get a pop. Because you know damn well that at WrestleMania, I was well on my way to ripping you apart limb from limb until you had some unexpected help. You had help from God. I mean, essentially, it became a handicap match. Me versus you and God. And then he looks up. Here you go again, God. Here you go again. Always picking on me. You know, you always were a bully.
Vince, is God in the room with us right now?
Apparently.
Yeah, Jesus. You were right about the copium. This is next level. This is like actively like insane this is like the most like, because Vince McMahon's brand of unhinged is usually just like, it's a little bit of like, there's a conspiracy against me, or I don't know, like, I am in control, I am the boss, how dare you, blah blah. This is next tier. What are you talking about, Vincent? The copium is like 100 proof here. Fuck me.
He is on track to overdose on copium if he doesn't stop soon.
I didn't think that was possible. Oh God.
But anyway, Shawn cuts in the middle of this, and he's like, hold on. And he's basically like, Vince, you have gone completely insane. And he's like, do you have a point in there somewhere? Yeah, I've got a point. The point is this. You can't win. You can't win against the McMahons. You nor anyone else in the world can beat the McMahons. You can't do it. You see, you may win a battle or 2 here and there, but you will never, ever win the war against the McMahons. And by the way, pal, that's exactly what you're in. You're in a war. And that war for you is going to continue. Because I'm going to get a lot better. My son Shane is going to get over this emotional scarring, let me tell you. I laughed at that. Emotionally scarred for life later. He's going to get over this.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
In less than 4 weeks' time, at Backlash, there's going to be a tag team match, Shawn. He gets this evil grin on his face as if he has concocted the greatest scheme of his life. It's going to be you and your tag team partner, the good Lord Almighty. That's right. You and God versus me, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, and the product of my semen, my son Shane.
Yeah, so what was that about psychological and emotional scarring? Vince, I felt very fucking satisfied when he said the product of my semen. I'm like, see?
Shane has this funny look. He's like, what the fuck?
Shane just does this. He's like, I'm sorry, what?
And yeah, that's the end of that promo. And Vince is insane.
He is. Vince has gone bye-bye, Egon.
Vince is booking God in matches.
The matches made. Vince and some semen versus Shawn Michaels and a spotlight. Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, like I told you, they don't build up to this moment. They're immediately like, fuck it. Vince is booking God.
Vince is booking God, and then we're just going to spend the next 4 weeks milking it. That'll be interesting. Lawler repeats a line on comment. They're talking about the Masters and Carlito thing, And Lawler repeats a line he had earlier that I didn't take note of the first time, but he said it a second time about how the biggest muscle that Masters has is between his ears, which is somehow supposed to be an insult. It's not calling him smart, or it's just saying that he's not
implying
that
that Masters is dumb, but he's also saying the biggest muscle in his is the one in his ear. Wouldn't the better one be the smallest muscle is the one between his ears, implying he has a small brain?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's not a misspeak because he said it twice. Lawler,
it's like he was really he's like, I feel like he just Googled one-liners and he saw someone mention the idea of like the biggest muscle is the one in between your ears. And he's like, I'm going to use that as an insult, not understanding the point.
Jerry Lawler got like a note from corporate to stop with like all of the sexual harassment and just do it sometimes, and he's like, "Fuck, I gotta find something to fill the time." Bad puns.
Jokes. Yeah.
Pooh.
On this Vince promo, Vince is such a compelling villain to follow the through line on, as he just drifts deeper and deeper into absolute insanity and delusion. And I feel like this arc might be like the peak of that. He goes back to being a relatively normal evil villain manager after this.
I have never seen Vince. I've never seen Vince the character be like,
we are hitting something with him blaming his loss on God and thus challenging him to a match.
Which, like, wouldn't the solution be? It's so insane. It's so fucked up. And the thing is, it's not even like, because you could play that as him doing a symbolic gesture. That's what I thought it was. No, Vince is just insane. Vince is just suffering from a schizophrenic episode.
If he doesn't book the match, then it feels like he's just coping. And he's like, and I don't know how he resolves that then, but I guess the answer is try to book God in a match as if he is like a physical person who is going to come down to the ring and do headlocks.
I know, right? And then if God himself doesn't make an appearance, Vince is able to call it a dub because, again, schizophrenic episode.
This is like proof of this is him trying to prove atheism, I guess. If God's not dead, then he'll show up at Backlash.
Man, we should have gotten Vince McMahon instead of Kevin Sorbo in the God's Not Dead movies.
Well, that's going to be the same problem we ran into when we did Hulk Hogan for that, is would Vince be willing to kill himself off in the car crash?
That's true. Vince.
To be fair,
there is precedent for that.
The difference between Hulk Hogan in God's Not Dead and Vince McMahon in God's Not Dead is at least Hogan would be willing to do the Christianity conversion. Vince would somehow not convert.
Vince would find a way to like make sure it happens off screen or something.
Like he still hates God, but he doesn't convert.
Yeah. So anyway, that the match is set for Backlash. Holy shit. And Vince, I'm begging you to take your meds. All right, women's match.
I will say they do like a little recap of the first half of Raw. That was interesting. And then Trish comes out. She's limping from the match last night. You can tell.
And she does not look terribly pleased to be here.
No, and then Tori Wilson comes out. My first note: why does Tori have a dog? My second note: Tori had this song too. Like, there are 3 different women who had the exact song Tori Wilson came out to, which is like, you're not enough for me. No, just another man in love with me. Just another man, baby. Yeah.
Were they a stable?
Yeah. First she uses it. Then Michelle McCool uses it. And then Layla L uses it. Admittedly, Layla and Michelle McCool were a tag team. But then Michelle retired and Layla just kept the song, I guess. Before getting her
Either way, though, why does
eventually.
Michelle McCool have it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why Michelle has it. But I was like, the fuck? I didn't know Tori Wilson also had this song.
It's a lineage. It passes down from generation to generation.
But then her opponent, it's Trish and Tori Wilson versus Candice Michelle comes out with the Playboy bunny on her Tron.
Well, okay, one thing I need to say though is so Tori Wilson has the dog. And not only is it confusing that she has a dog, the dog is dressed up as Minnie Mouse for some reason. And of
And it
course,
also...
Well,
What
of
did he
course,
say?
Jerry Lawler can't help but go, puppies are here. Don't fucking test me, Jerry.
God damn it. And then Mickey James. First you hear the beginning of Trish's theme again. It's like, oh, oh, and then Mickey's theme hits, and then Mickey James is cosplaying as Trish Stratus.
Dressed like Trish Stratus, which is so psychotic.
And she does Trish's entire entrance. Like, she does the exact same motions.
Everything, except she seems far happier to be here than Trish did.
Also, what the fuck am I looking at?
Trish is deeply fucking horrible. She thought the nightmare was over. She's like, I lost the belt, but at least it's done. Nope. Also, we get our Raw sponsors for the evening, which means it's time to look up what random shitty movie the Fed is pushing this time with, pardon me, with Lucky Number 11.
Hold on. Lucky Number 11. Oh my God, it's actually called Slevin? It's actually called Lucky Number 11.
Lucky number. Morgan Freeman and Bruce Kingsley and Bruce Willis and Ben Kingsley and Lucy Liu and Stanley. What the fuck? What is this?
A neo-noir crime thriller. And I'm not reading the plot, but let's see, reception and release. Let's see how it did. Box office. It grossed $7 million, and on opening weekend it came in 5th at the box office. And it just barely made money. It grossed totally $56 million at a $27 million budget. You know, Hollywood accounting says you gotta have to double your budget to make money.
No.
And
Jesus Christ.
The movie got a mixed reviews, a 52% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes with an average rating of 5.9. The critical consensus states, trying too hard to be clever in a Pulp Fiction kind of way, this film succumbs to a convoluted plot, overly stylized characters, and a dizzying set design.
Yeah, so with the just barely making their money back and just scraping by with like just over half critic approval.
Truly middle of the road.
A real
Maximum
fucking winner.
Middle of the road here.
Promoted once again by the film buffs at WWE. You love to see it. Also for some reason when Mickey James comes out, she has WWEdivas.com on her nameplate, maybe because she's the champ now. But oh god, they're already starting to be referred to as the Divas. The apocalypse is upon us, Austin.
We are slowly getting to that transition.
We are in the end times.
Yeah, so Mickey James doesn't. The match starts with Tori and Candace. And Mickey James spends the first part of this match trying to hook the title belt onto the ring rope so Trish has to stare at it from the corner.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
Trish hits her whirly head scissor thing where she like does a really slow back handspring into a head scissors.
I will say she also does this other thing where Candace tries to knock her down with a lariat, but Trish like dodges it by doing a fucking like backbend bridge. That was cool.
Yeah,
she seems like she was talented enough as an in-ring.
So Trish totally was, but she's not doing shit here. Tori and Mickey tag in. Mickey cheap shots Trish after she hits Tori a couple times. She cheap shots Trish, and then Mickey ducks a clothesline, chick kick to Tori. Winner. There we go.
With Trish's finisher specifically.
True. Big move, but also, yep, that's the end of that. That's all the women we need tonight.
Yes.
There will be no more.
No more. Not a promo in sight. Yeah, Mickey accidentally leaves the belt in the ring, and Trish tauntingly returns it to her. So, you know, once again, the Sisyphusian boulder pushing just keeps on going on the road to Backlash.
Yeah, she's like, I'm the champion! It's mine!
we get our third reminder of the evening of what the main event is going to be with the exact same graphic, and Lita's here.
Yeah. But
so
hey, we
that's
got
fine.
WWE Hall of Fame highlights.
Yo, 2006 goated fucking Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I don't have that up on them.
It
WWE
was
Hall of
Mean
Fame class.
the big headlining three were Mean Gene Okerlund, who was inducted by Hulk Hogan. Mean Gene did have a great line of, "If one day I get called up to the big house, bury me face down, then all of my critics can kiss my ass." And I'm like, you know what? That line goes hard. Good for
I'm
you, Mean Gene.
I'm gonna headcanon that's how Mean Gene went out.
I also fully headcanon that he was indeed buried upside down. He was very insistent on it. Eddie, of course, got inducted. And Bret Hart got inducted that year.
Yeah, the whole class is William the Refrigerator Perry is the celebrity inductee. He's a football player. He was inducted by Cena. The Blackjacks, Blackjack Mulligan and Blackjack Lanza were inducted by Bobby Heenan. Tony Atlas was inducted by Special Delivery Jones. Okay. Vern Gagne's old decrepit ass was inducted by Greg Gagne. Can only imagine what speech Vern gave. Probably something along the lines of "kids these days."
Now when 20 years from now, this Hall of Fame is going to be like a worthless participation trophy. When I tell you that I put in the work. Yeah.
Sensational Sherry was inducted by Ted DiBiase.
Yeah, Sherry got inducted. That's sweet.
Yeah, and then Mean Gene inducted by Hogan. Eddie was inducted by Benoit, Mysterio, and Chavo. And then Stone Cold inducted Bret.
Yeah, which is
one of those. Really cool. Yeah, cool moment. Sadly, none of his fans, Jim wasn't on good terms with WWE at that moment, and Bulldog and Owen were dead. So, none of the Hearts could do it.
Yeah.
For Bret.
I mean, it is cool that it's Stone Cold considering kind of like the torch passing that happened between the two of them, but still.
Yes, totally. That's like, if, as terms of wrestlers that aren't Hearts that should have inducted Bret, Stone Cold's about as good a pick as you could have had for that.
Correct. But anyway, so that was sweet. And then off the heels of that, ooh, Chavo.
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay. Is it me, or does Chavo's theme song sound like fucking Pokemon battle music? Dun 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 dun. It's got a lot of similarities.
Yep.
Look it up, people. It's fucked. Like I'm talking like Generation 3, like wild Pokemon battle music compared to Chavo Guerrero's WWE theme song. I swear to God.
So Chavo kind of just gives this whole speech about how he's so proud of last night. He wants to thank everybody who kept Uncle Eddie's memory alive. And he's like, he was so happy for his family member, Rey Mysterio, winning the World Heavyweight Championship on SmackDown. And if he had any regrets, that he didn't have a title match at WrestleMania. The crowd is chanting for Chavo. Incredible.
Which is unusual.
But Chavo's like, tonight is different. Tonight, I get a shot of the Intercontinental title. Tonight is my WrestleMania. And tonight, I am dedicating this match to Eddie.
Yeah, it's his WrestleMania, which, hey, you know what? They have a use for the sign now. Good job. Thank you, Chavo.
Eddie, you passed the torch to me the night you died. And I promise you, he's like, I'll never forget. I didn't write the date down, but he mentions, like, I'll never forget the day. The morning of when he learned that. And he's like, and then he frames that as you passed me the torch. And I promise all of Eddie's fans, and I promise the entire Guerrero family, I will not let you down.
Yeah, so Chavo makes us go for it.
I was just saying, now we get an IC title match with Chavo Guerrero against Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah, Chavo made that promo a little weirdly about himself, but it's fine. Against the he's challenging the utterly the utterly ageless IC champion Shelton Benjamin.
I mean, admittedly, also a little aimless if you look at Shelton Benjamin's career, broadly speaking.
Listen, don't worry about it, brother.
but ain't no stopping me now.
Yeah. Commentary also really leans in on the fact that it's so wild to me that like people went so hard on constantly mentioning how Eddie was Chavo's uncle when Eddie was, again, 3 years older than Chavo.
Yeah, you think, you know.
So it's Uncle Eddie in extremely heavy quotations.
Which, I mean, it's factually correct, but not the way you imagine that. Yeah.
Bruh.
I did write I was too lazy to write match notes. It's nice. It's a nice back and forth match. You know, these are two technically talented wrestlers. So, you know, the in-ring work is good here. There's just not a ton that ends up going on.
Yeah, these guys both show some great like agility and strength. Shelton does like that. I don't know how to describe it. I call it like the seesaw throw of like you have the guy like down and you're up, but then you kind of like rock backwards and like chuck the guy by his legs.
Oh yeah, that's kind of I think like a wheelbarrow toss or something like that.
Okay, he does that on Chavo, but Chavo's able to catch himself on the apron, so that's kind of cool. And then Chavo's able to like Shelton's charging at him, and Chavo's able to like fully fucking lift him over his head and throw him backwards out of the ring. That was sick as hell.
Yeah. So basically the finish of the match is the big thing here. Chavo, he hits the 3 amigos. Oh
indeed,
my!
Indeed.
And he goes up to the top for the frog splash. He's gonna do it for Eddie. Womp womp womp. No, he misses. And then Shelton hits his exploder T-bone suplex for the dub to retain the title.
Which, like, I think Coachman brought this up on commentary of like Chavo's playing more to the crowd with doing that than he was going for the win.
Which he was.
He was, and it does make an interesting point of like, crass though it may be to think about, if you're going in if you're thinking like within kayfabe, the psychology of the match, if you're going up against Chavo Guerrero the night after Eddie got inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, maybe
you be ready for the Eddie tribute.
Yeah, so like I feel like it would like Shelton the whole time is like, it's like me when I'm playing 2K and like waiting for someone to go off the top rope and I'm just waiting to like hit that.
I wait because I know that their finisher. Because I know their finisher is a top rope move, so I'm just waiting for him to go up there.
You're just waiting to hit that triangle. Yeah, it's like come on, motherfucker, try it, make my day. So Chavo does not get the dub, and he is big sad about it.
Yeah, he's really sad. Honestly, I'll say this before we get to the next part. I actually kind of was like, are they going to like use this to slow burn turn Chavo heel again? Because honestly, he's never been the most compelling babyface. He has always been so much better at it, being a total jackass. So I was like, he going to like, what they're going to do is they're going to turn it as like he's trying to use Eddie's legacy to get himself ahead, but also sucking shit at it.
I had that thought too. Yep.
But then we get the WWE's favorite thing where they do a WWE.com exclusive that they air on television.
Real exclusive.
Learn what words mean. But Chavo is just like sad and he's broken. He's like, I let everybody down. I let Eddie down. And he's tearful. He's like, maybe I'm not cut out to be a wrestler, man. I quit. And he walks away.
And he walks off.
He does actually just like kind of quit for a couple of months there.
Oh,
I looked it up, actually. He does like take a few months off and then he comes back and turns heel on Ray.
Yeah. Well, so, it is a slow burn heel turn, just not.
Yeah, but it's not the way I would have thought it would happen.
Not in the way that would have been, actually compelling.
Right.
And then
out comes
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair?
Yeah, fuck off.
Now, great start here of Ric Flair being like, I've had some unbelievable moments in Chicago. Like, that's a shocker. Woo! But better than that, I've had some unbelievable moments in my career here in Chicago. Get it?
Yeah.
The first time he was talking about sex with women.
Uh-huh. Yeah, man, I gotta say, in 2006, Ric Flair is fucking 57 going on 70. Holy shit, he looks so much older than he actually is.
I'm giving credit to Ric Flair. He looks like he hasn't aged in a couple decades by now.
But just not in that way.
Not in a good way. As in, he started old and just stayed there.
Just kept getting fucking, just more old. But Ric Flair is decided he's going after the SmackDown Championship because
on
fuck
Raw.
you. Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, so he's going after the SmackDown Championship because fuck you, and he's talking about it on Raw.
Well, because it's to facilitate the debut that's about to happen. That's
okay
here, of course.
Sure, but we get.
He's like, I got a 17th world title run in me. Woo!
And then
World Heavyweight
title run specifically.
And then
it's
dude,
technically the lineage of the WCW belt.
that's
anyway.
Though to be fair, if you count the 16 world titles, there is like his 2 WWE title reigns in there.
Correct.
So, anyway, so then a dude comes in Spanish, yelling in Spanish, and it is Armando Alejandro Estrada.
And I just go, what? My note is just, what the fuck is happening?
So yeah, he's just a he's just a really well dressed Cuban man, as we learn.
Yes.
But he's like, amigo, your time is over. It's time for a change. America needs a new hero. Hold on, Ric Flair is America's hero. Can we back up on that?
Let's. Whoa! Do not like the implications.
Whoa there.
Whoa, baby.
And his name is, and Rick stops. He's like, I don't know who you are, pal, but nobody gets in my business. And Estrada's like, don't interrupt me, pendejo. And Estrada he talks about how he grew up watching Ric Flair, growing up in Cuba, with the worn down TV and the rabbit ears for antenna and held together by aluminum foil. And that was then, and this is now. I am a businessman. I enjoy the nice things in life. I enjoy nice clothes, just like you. I enjoy nice women, beautiful women, the chicas, just like you. and amigo, more than anything else, I enjoy the dinero, the cash, the money. Pero now your time is over. Allow me to introduce you to the man who is going to change the face of Monday Night Raw and the entire WWE. I give to you, and again, Ric Flair interrupts. And of course, Ric Flair had to get weirdly kind of racist about it.
Yeah. The way I have it is Ric Flair says, "Please don't be rude to me," and then proceeds to call Armando what I can only assume is an archaic slur.
Yeah, he calls him a nothing-having, island-jumping Cuban.
That. Like I said, it didn't have any things that sound like slur words, but I guarantee, that is something he got back in the 60s and has just been using ever since, willy-nilly.
He calls it Cubans island jumpers. That sounds right.
You filthy island jumper. Oh, God, that feels dirty.
Sounds right to me. Anyway, Ric Flair takes off his jacket, and he's like, bring your new boy out here, and let's see what he's got. Rick, he's been trying to bring his new boy out here 2 times, and you keep interrupting
this whole time.
him.
Yeah, correct.
And Estrada, based, says, Ric Flair, you've overstayed your welcome.
Oh, he doesn't say Ric Flair. He says pendejo. You've overstayed.
Pendejo. You're welcome.
Man,
it's time for you to go.
Man, I really like the cut of this guy's jib.
I give you Umaga.
Yeah, okay. Umaga debuts
Yep.
now. Holy shit.
Debut of Umaga. Truly the last dignified Samoan gimmick that is like an islander. That's the joke. But Umaga just shows up and whoops Ric Flair's ass. There's nothing else to it.
Always knew I liked the cut of his jib.
Absolutely. He doesn't hit
tries
the
to put
spike,
over that this moment will be like something that I guarantee you people will be talking like this or talking about this at the water cooler. Man, I feel like having to say that is a near guarantee that no such thing will ever happen.
I was like, they think there's still water cooler talk in 2006.
True. Oh my God, we're already far too disconnected for that. Fuck that.
Anyway, but yeah, Umaga doesn't hit the spike. That's what I noticed because his finisher will be like thumbing you in the neck. It's the Samoan spike. This time he hits this like weird. I called it a modified Samoan drop, but it really is like you get Ric Flair on your shoulders in like a reverse fireman's carry, and then he like drops him. Back horizontally. Like
face outstanding.
But woohoo. And then they cut big time. They hype up the theme song of WrestleMania 22, Big Time by Peter Gabriel.
Outstanding.
Big time. And hey, it's Ozzie Guillen, the manager for the Chicago White Sox. The crowd.
Oh, woo-hoo. He is. Oh, nice. Good job.
And then backstage, Edge and Triple H are just like hashing out their shit from earlier and being like, hey, no offense, man. But then each other has this really funny, like very heel way of talking, of being like, hey, man, you know what you should do? You should go out there by yourself and kick Cena's ass. Hit him with the pedigree. And Triple H's like, no, I couldn't do that. But you know what you should do, Edge? Is you should go out there and kick Cena's ass by yourself and really prove yourself as a main event player.
All step back. Yeah, they're trying to pass off the match work to each other. But then they just kind of settle on like, fine, okay, we both hate Cena. We can just both go out there and kick his ass. And they end things cordially, or so they think, as Edge walks off and Triple H kind of looks to the side in a sort of I'm totally going to betray you look. Except here's the thing.
That's not how that happens.
Wait, what?
Except that's not how that happens.
No. But here's the real thing, though. If you pay attention to this promo segment, you can see that the area of backstage they're at is close enough to the entrance ramp that you can see the backside of the like projector screen.
Yeah, they're
at the top of the entrance ramp, and you can see their promo happening in real time, projected up there, like reverse image flipped on the back of the projection screen. And then when Edge walks away from the conversation and Triple H does the I'm totally gonna betray you face, Edge is walking directly toward the entrance ramp and that giant ass fucking screen, meaning he should by all means be able to see the fact that Triple H is like surreptitiously side-eyeing him directly to the camera.
You know that wrestlers don't watch the show, and that includes the show that is 5 feet in front of them.
They see the screen and they like vampires. They go like and like duck away from it. They try to get under an umbrella or some shit.
Yeah, so main event time already. Edge and Triple H versus John Cena. I noted that Joey Styles calls Lita Edge's sinful sex pot.
Great, outstanding. Lita's here too. I'm glad this is what we're doing with her.
Yeah, so this match works by, it's a little inconsistent of how they do handicap match rules. Sometimes they make them have to tag, and thank God, in WWE 2K, they make them have to tag. But here they do not. Both guys can just be in the ring all the time, and 2-on-1 Cena the whole time. But of course, because they're trying to be lazy and pass the buck to the other guy, they don't do that.
No, they just kind of
ton of the match sitting in the corner and watching.
No, like up on the top turnbuckle, which was hysterical. Also, oh my fucking god, I hear another Cena sucks chant kicks up, but for the briefest of moments, I thought it was a CM Punk chant. Ooh. I am scarred for fucking life.
Hey, Chicago has seen the future.
Chicago has looked at their crib. CM Punk always was, always has been, and always will be.
What would CM Punk be doing in 2006?
Well, apparently about to kick up with ECW. Because he signed.
Because this would have been top guy. Well, no, he's in WWE developmental at this point. He's already left Ring of Honor.
Yeah, he signed his Ring of Honor contract in 2005.
Oh shit, I forgot that Punk debuts like on the first couple of episodes of ECW. So he is like months away from his WWE debut.
Yep. He just did the gangster shit, so he's officially in with the company now, and just doing developmental. But yeah, so that's what a lot of the match is. commentary is still trying to sell the whole like fucking traditional wrestling fans thing. Kill me.
Yeah. Match doesn't get real interesting until Edge is in the corner. Triple H gets out of the corner to try to cheap shot John. And then Edge goes for the spear. Cena ducks, and Edge spears Triple H instead.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Of like, I saw this setup of we got Triple H in like the top right corner, we got Cena in the middle, and we got Edge in the bottom left corner. And I see Edge setting up for the spear, and I'm like, all right, class, let's play along at home. Do we think that A, Cena eats the spear from Edge while Triple H just vibes? B, Cena eats 2 different finishers from his opponents and loses? Or C, and this is a crazy thought, but mayhaps there is a bit of malfunctioning at the junctioning, and sure enough,
this is also the funniest malfunction at the junction I've ever seen in my life.
How so?
Well, not the way, I guess not the moment, but the after effect of it. So,
oh yeah,
because the match continues as normal between Edge and Cena until Cena gets Edge in the corner and starts punching him. Triple H just got back up. He throws Cena out of the corner, and then he goes to start punching Edge. For a couple of for like 30 seconds, Cena and Triple H are double teaming Edge.
Yeah, which was very fucking funny. And it's funny too, because Triple H stops Cena from beating up on Edge. So you're like, all right, he's coming to save his partner, and then just dicks down Edge too. And then Cena's once again like, proving that he's
what am I looking at here?
But Cena once again proves that he's a fucking tremendous dumbass too, because the fact that Triple H helps him with this means that Cena thinks that Triple H, who is just standing very close to him in the ring, will have no problem with Cena hitting the 5-knuckle shuffle on Edge.
Cena sets up for the 5-knuckle shuffle, and then as he's going to do it, Triple H intercepts him. He hits the pedigree, and Triple H wins. It's all about the game.
He is the cerebral assassin. Even though he got hit with a malfunction at the junction Edge spear.
I am the game.
I don't know why it makes me laugh as hard as it does just doing the I am the game, the cerebral assassin. It's I don't know why
The Rock did irreversible damage to Triple H impressions.
I know, it doesn't even sound like him. He doesn't even do that shit.
But Rock did a Triple H impression where he goes, I am the game. I am the best. And I got a $2 slut of a wife. And now like everyone does at the end of Triple H.
It's so good. It's so good, and it's just like him having like these stock phrases of "I am the game."
Now the stock phrases, that's just Triple H's regular promo.
That is actually Triple
H. The uhs are added on.
That's out of pocket. It's only a partially exaggerated impression. Thank you very much. But yeah, so John Cena, tremendous dumbass, thinks Triple H is just gonna let him win and pays the price for it. Waka
so
waka.
Triple H wins the match, and I guess Edge technically also won.
Yeah. What is the like consequence of this? Like, oh, cool. Like, there's not contendership on the line, so what the fuck? This was just kind of there to be there. I did look ahead and see just how. I did look ahead a little bit and see just how fucking far like this Triple H and John Cena forever feud runs for, and it's I
haven't looked ahead, so let me see how long.
Let me see
how long.
It's a few months.
All right. Okay. Okay. One Night Stand. Cena fights Rob Van Dam.
Yeah.
Then at Vengeance, he fights Sabu. What?
The what?
Okay, it seems like they carry through this feud until like it's time for Triple H to go do DX again.
Yeah. John Cena and RVD. Triple H makes but like in May, May 15th is like when it becomes like is the culmination. WrestleMania rematch, John Cena versus Triple H.
Yeah, because May 21st is Judgment Day, but Judgment Day is a SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view.
Yes.
So they're not paying it off there.
So they run this thing for like what, 3 pay-per-view cycles, give or take?
Now 3 because
2.5.
3. It's because John, because the No Way Out, Cena didn't wrestle, but Triple H won contendership in like February.
Yeah,
like he won a tournament, so they ran this feud from like February to May.
Outstanding. That's great. So delightful.
And as I mentioned in the front half, absolutely no interesting story is happening here. They're just
it's just like but aren't you very scared of the Reign of Terror coming back? Please God, cheer for Cena. We don't know how to deal with it.
That's basically it. Is they're like leveraging fans hating the Reign of Terror to try to get them to cheer Cena, and it's also not working.
It's just not doing anything. Very funny.
Yeah, that was this episode of Raw.
Nice, easy breezy. I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Raw after Mania, so there's a few exciting moments, but also there's this sense, especially in ring, they're like, all right, time to take a breather. Big night last night. We are not trying hard tonight.
Washing our hands of this. Yeah, absolutely. It's fine. I look forward to coming back and seeing just the new levels of delusion that Vince McMahon reaches and the, I'm sure, prestigious championship reign of the Spirit Squad. Etc., etc.
Yep, so that's it. We'll be back soon enough for the next week in Vince McMahon's crazy playhouse era. But for next time, it is the Christmas season.
Yes!
Jolly
season
ho.
To be wrestling.
La 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 la. So, I got to put this question to you, David.
Oh, no.
Do you want to do real wrestling next week, or do you want to do something weird? Something new and exciting that we've never done on the show before.
I'm scared of options after the last set of options I picked.
No, these options are, I'll be honest, I kind of put off coming up with plans for the Christmas episode, and now I'm throwing something together. But I do have 2 ideas. Half-baked ideas. So, real wrestling or weird bullshit? Your choice.
Who am I to deny when my co-host has $1 million idea? Sure, let's do weird bullshit. Why not? I'll indulge you. You indulged me for the Halloween episode. I will indulge you for the Christmas episode.
Sure. So, here's the thing about Christmas. One of my favorite parts about Christmas is Christmas movies. And so, Christmas movies are really fun. And so,
Don't you fucking say it.
No, it's not. I don't know what you think I'm about to say, actually. I don't know what you think I'm about to say.
I'm very scared that 3 horrifying words are about to be strung together that rhyme with Schmanta Schmith Schmussels.
Oh no, God no, we're not doing that.
Okay, all right. Proceed.
Maybe next year.
No.
So my favorite Christmas movies are the Rankin Bass Christmas movies.
Would you love the Rankin Bass Christmas movies? I actually just watched Santa Claus is Coming to Town last night.
Oh, that's nice.
Good shit.
Yeah. So I had a few episodes ago, and I don't even remember. I was probably a Halloween episode when I did this, but when I suggested this nonsense, I quoted a Rankin Bass movie as Randy Savage, and I said, wouldn't it be funny if we did a reading of a whole Rankin Bass movie in wrestler voices? And
oh my God.
And so I've decided that for Christmas this year, that's what we're gonna do.
Holy shit.
We are going to do a reading of my favorite Rankin Bass movie, Rudolph the Red-Nosed
Reindeer,
in wrestler voices.
Holy fuck. So this is unhinged, but also keep on cooking, King. I'm with you.
Yeah, so no guests this year. Kind of didn't think to get that lined up. And honestly, it's probably for the better because this is next week. How and who else is going to know all the right voices to do?
I know maybe one guy, but whatever.
You see my point here. It's
I see your point.
we got to work with who can do the voices right.
Yes. I do. Delightful. All right, that's gonna be fucked up.
So next week we're doing the world's worst version of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I think you mean best. I think you meant to say best. I fixed that for you.
It's true. I guess I was a little off there, but yeah.
That
is for next time. Until then, David, hit the plugs.
Oh my God. Yes, sir. Dear friends, thank you all so much for joining us on yet another episode of the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast. We are so delighted to have you here. Returning listeners, viewers, what have you, you know the drill. Thank you all so much for once again welcoming us back into your eardrums, your eyeballs, whatever it is used to consume our content. We are just so delighted that you choose to spend your time with us week after week. New people, hey, hi, how's it going? Welcome to the show. We here at the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast like to think we are friendly to both noobs and knockouts alike. So whether you're brand new to the wild, wacky world of wrestling or you're a veteran of all the weird bullshit, either way, we hope you had a great time here. We hope you want to keep having a great time with us week after week, and I'm going to tell you all the ways you can do so. First and foremost, you can find us on YouTube. We are the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on YouTube. Hit subscribe, ring that bell, make sure it turns a nice little solid color so you get notifications every single time we drop a brand new episode. Give us all that sweet engagement with your comments and your likes. Check out all of our playlists. Austin has been kind enough to organize all of the storylines that we follow into their own separate playlists. So if there's something you want to follow all the way down without having to skip around a whole lot, that option is there. It's great. And then, also it's the video version, so you can see our beautiful, sexy, wonderful faces, as usual, me shaking my Lawler effigy, hoping that it does something one of these days. All that good stuff. If you're a fan of the audio-only edition, however, we got you covered there. You can find us on 3 of the best places to find your audio podcasts, which, of course, are Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. Give us a listen there. Download our show so you can listen to us offline. Some of that sweet engagement in the forms of 5-star ratings, if you're so inclined. Maybe some nice little reviews that say, hey, these guys are pretty cool. I'm pretty into them. More people should be listening to them. I don't know. I'm just saying, spitballing here. Either way, if you so choose to engage with that, it's tremendous help to the show. Be much appreciated. Thank you all. Of course, we exist in more than just this little void we find ourselves in week after week. We got some social medias you can follow. Primarily, of course, is our Twitter account at Noobs and Knockouts, or at Noobs and Knox Pod. That's at Noobs, letter N, Knox Pod on Twitter. We do the Twitter thing. We do memes and make the brain-melting mistake of engaging with IWC discourse. All that good shit. We keep up with normal wrestling stuff. We put up a post every single week when we drop a brand new episode, so you guys always know what the hell is going on. And of course, the highlight of our Twitter is weekly wrestling live tweeting every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on TBS. I, the noob, David, am watching and tweeting about AEW Dynamite, talking about all that shit, talking about talking with our wonderful fans and other assorted IWC people about what we think about the show. It's just a great time. I just like to do my live tweeting thing. Also being a bit of an AEW smark. Occasionally I will live tweet Rampage at 10 p.m. Eastern on TNT and on Fridays, and Collision on Saturday nights at 8 p.m. On TNT. I haven't done that in a hot minute because my weekends have been very busy. But when I get around to it, I like to partake in a little bit of that too. But at the very least, we are live tweeting Dynamite every week. It's a good time. You should check it out. On top of all of that, Austin is the king knockout of this show still, and he likes to, in some form or other, follow all 3 of the major American companies and their pay-per-views. And we kind of like to tell you guys what the hell is going on that front, especially for all the noobs in the audience. If you're kind of looking for if you're shopping around for what wrestling you're hoping to get engaged with on a regular basis, we like to make sure you know what your options are. So my friend, what is on the docket coming up?
Right. So next up on pay-per-view is AEW World's End on December 30th, 2023. We're still a few weeks out from these shows, so I'm probably not going to give like a real big rundown on them for a little bit. But right now, AEW main evented by MJF versus Samoa Joe for the world title and the final of the Continental Classic tournament. AEW doing their own G1.
That's exciting. It's been a good time so far. Looking forward to it, and it's not nearly as convoluted as the Bound for Glory series. Thank you very much.
Cannot wait to bring that. I got the whiteboard is ready to come back.
Fucking
for the
hell!
Bound for Glory. Okay, next up then is TNA. Impact Wrestling is rebranding at the start of the next year.
Yes.
Back to TNA, total nonstop action. You can watch them every week, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Access TV, or if you with a YouTube channel subscription of $1. They have multiple channel subscription tiers, but the $1 tier, you can watch every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, commercial free. And then at their pay-per-view on January 13th is Hard to Kill. And then for WWE, they're the easiest to get a hold of on a regular basis. Raw on Mondays at 8 o'clock on USA Network for now, and SmackDown on Fridays at 8 on Fox for now. They're
TV deal season, baby.
We are current. It is TV deal shopping season. I believe they've already confirmed SmackDown's going back to USA. And
yes, I think they have.
And Raw, we don't know. We don't know what they're doing with that yet. So for now, that's how you can keep up with WWE every week, and you watch their pay-per-views on Peacock. On the premium live event. A technically correct term, but not nearly as interesting to say.
Rolls off the tongue not terribly well.
The PLEs, the plays. Upcoming on January 27th is the Royal Rumble. So exciting times here. 30 men enter the Rumble, and then 30 women enter the Rumble, and each winner will get a world title match of their choosing at WrestleMania 35. 40,
is Cody finished?
Yes, 40, excuse me.
I was going to say, hold up. Is Cody finishing the story this year?
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll find out.
Until if you consider that there is another story we got to finish, is that CM Punk had beef with Roman Reigns about having to make Roman look strong on the Colt Cabana podcast. So, I think if we got to finish any story, I think we got to finish the CM Punk story first.
Priorities, people.
Win the Royal Rumble. Finally give him the main event he's been bitching about for a decade. So, Cody, just 41, buddy. Just hold on. We'll get there.
We'll find our way there eventually, Cody. We promise.
The best stories are trilogies. That's right.
Oh yeah. Well, keep in mind, we will like fucking Heyman said, we were only in the third inning or whatever. With Cody's story, so we still got a lot of chugging along to do, baby.
Yep.
But anyway,
that is what is coming up in the world of wrestling.
Hell yeah. Be sure to check all of that out. Again, Austin and I like to kind of tell you guys about these big companies and their pay-per-views, especially for the noobs. Pay-per-views especially can be a great jumping on point. You're bound to see a lot of awesome wrestling. Big storylines finishing up, new storylines kind of getting kicked off. We just like to make sure you know your options, and we like to tweet about these when we get the chance, and start a bit of engagement with our community. Maybe be a force for slightly more positivity in the IWC. Lord knows we always need more of that. So yeah, be sure to check all of that out. It's a good time over on the Twitter. If you like listening to us ramble about wrestling for hours on end, it's just that in bite-sized form. So come check us out at Noobs and Knockouts Pod on Twitter. Of course, if you want to get in more direct and long-form contact with us, you can email us at noobsandknockoutspod@gmail.com. That's noobs, the word and, knockoutspod@gmail.com. Come say hi to us there. Tell us what you think about the show. Request things you want to see us cover on the show. Tell us our hot takes are based in red pilled or cringe and blue pilled, fucking whatever. Either way, start discourse, start a conversation. Just say hi. We love people saying hi. We would love to say hi back. Noobs and knockoutspod@gmail.com. And of course, finally, you can also find us on Patreon. We are the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on Patreon. The link for it is in our Twitter. $1 a month gets you early access to episodes and a shout out at the end of each episode. Shout out, as always, to the sugar daddy, Kyle Smith, for his help, his contributions. We love you, buddy. We hope you're enjoying your perks. If you want to enjoy your perks along with our boy Kyle, you can absolutely do that over on the Patreon, even just for a single $1 a month. That means a lot to us, helps out the show more than you realize. It's just a nice little extra bit of support, and it doesn't cost terribly all that much at all, and you get some nice little bonuses for it. So yeah, if you're so inclined, be sure to do that shit over on the Patreon. Once again, the link for that is in our Twitter.
See y'all next time.
Hasta luego.